Hey guys, so what I'm going to make this speech about is the importance that I see in having diversity in teaching staff in colleges and in high school. And diversity meaning political diversity. And I've got inspired by this post I was actually in Whole Foods and I saw a Time magazine cover that said most teachers in colleges are liberals and why that's bad for all of us. And so I did some researching into what the Time magazine article was, and what I found was on the internet, liberal teachers outnumber conservative teachers 28 to 1, especially in the Northeast, I believe it said. And that's a huge margin. Um, so much so that I think that's a big problem. That's a big problem because teachers, obviously, are teachers. We assume that they're right about everything as students, and especially in high school. High school students, I know, are a lot more spongy, and what the information they're given, they assume is correct. So if teachers are liberal and they're twisting their material to be a liberal point of view, students are going to start to pick up that, and they're only going to be able to see the way the teachers want them to see. And in the college um, areas, I think students are more free to think, but they're still being taught um, liberal viewpoints. And if they were taught those same liberal viewpoints in high school, chances are they have somewhat liberal viewpoints too. So then the teachers and the students are all on the same path rather than getting a different viewpoint on different things and then learning and maybe changing a viewpoint because you learned something new about it. So, pretty much what I'm saying is if you go through life being told um, one way is the only good way, and then never getting any outside input, how are you going to improve anything? So it's kind of the same thing with our education and our politics. If a liberal student goes into a classroom with a liberal teacher and they were told, taught everything that they already believed, then they're not really going to learn anything. Rather than if a liberal student goes into a conservative teacher's class, then they might not want to hear some stuff that they agree with or really want to hear, but it might allow a chance for a different viewpoint and some learning to come through. And then you can have an intelligent argument with either a student or a teacher or even students with students. So I think a way to fix this, obviously you can't, hire and not hire someone based on their political views. That would be outrageous if in an interview someone asks you if you're conservative or liberal, and if you say you're liberal, you don't get the job, or vice versa. So what you could do, I think, is make sure what the teachers are teaching has no viewpoint. It's just the straight up history, the straight up facts. And then instead of having lectures where the teacher just goes on and on and on for an hour or whatever, how long the class is, you can go back to what they did in ancient Greece with Aristotle, I believe. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Anyway, he was kind of the father of philosophy and one of the greatest teachers in ancient Greece and of all time. And what he did was have Socratic classes where everyone would sit in a circle and he would teach his teachings and everyone would discuss. So what teachers could do is have that same circle, teach the facts, and then make sure the students all interact with each other, with the teachers, and that way you don't have just a bunch of kids sitting at a desk like this and sponging in information, and then they start growing up or believing this viewpoint when it might not even be the right viewpoint. Pretty much just getting brainwashed at that point. And I think when liberal teachers outweigh the conservative ones 28 to 1, it's a form of brainwashing in a way. Unintentional, maybe. Harmful, maybe. I think you kind of end up in a dystopia when everyone has the same viewpoint, because how are you ever going to improve? And I think that's kind of relevant, actually, now that I think about it. In the news, you see all these things in Berkeley going on and other colleges where a far right guy, I think his name Milo, comes to visit the college and does a lecture. And obviously, he's not very popular with the left leaning students. And so, a huge protest breaks out, and they kind of prevent the conservative students, or even I bet there weren't even some conservative students that wanted to go see him. I bet some left people wanted to go see him, and some middle people wanted to go see him, and then obviously right people wanted to go see him. But what those far, far left people did was block access to him, so people couldn't hear what he wanted to say. And that's outrageous. That's blocking our first, somebody's first right is the freedom of speech. So even if that guy's, a jerk and has stupid things to say, you can still say them. The best thing we can do is have intelligent conversations and teach things fairly and not one-sided. I think that's the best way to improve.